Despite allegedly nearing the finish line, the wait for GTA 6 has made Duke Nukem Forever's development cycle feel like a Call of Duty game. With every second inching closer to the May 26, 2026 release date, we find ourselves tearing apart every scrap of detail we can from the few trailers and gameplay images we've received so far. A watched pot never boils, and while we salivate over the meal that is to come, we can whet our appetites on some other amazing open-world games already out there. We're not just looking at copycats here. These are games that get to the essence of why we love Rockstar's chaotic series. Whether it's high-speed chases, the deep crime drama, or the pure freedom of letting loose in a living, breathing environment, these games scratch the one more mission itch that GTA 6 is bound to elicit. So while you're counting down the days to Rockstar's epic release, we're counting down the top 7 best open-world games to get lost in. Number 7. Watch Dogs 2. There's something beautifully ironic about Watch Dogs 2. Sure, it's a game about digital surveillance, data privacy, and systemic control, yet players still find themselves speeding through San Francisco in stolen sports cars, launching grenades from drones, and inevitably taking out the odd hot dog stand along the way. Ubisoft's pivot from the bleak tone of the first Watch Dogs to the vibrant, often hilarious chaos of Watch Dogs 2 certainly paid off. Marcus Holloway is infinitely more likable than Aiden Pierce, and DedSec operates much more like a bunch of rebellious college hackers than a shadowy cabal. What really makes it work for GTA fans is the amount of freedom it provides to the player. Whether you want to go full stealth with hacked cameras and RC bots, or barge into restricted areas headfirst, the gameplay rarely punishes and often necessitates improvisation. Meanwhile, the gameplay map of California's Bay Area is an absolute wonder. From the graffiti-soaked corners of Oakland to the tech industry's polished facades in Silicon Valley, it's a map that doesn't just look alive, it feels like it's watching back. Its tongue-in-cheek jabs at tech culture feel more relevant now than ever, leading to a satisfying sense of rebellion when players start hijacking SUVs and launching EDM raves in quiet suburbs. Number 6. Saints Row 4. What started as a series that strictly followed the rules GTA created ended up as the ultimate rule breaker, creating an identity for itself unlike any other. Saints Row 4 is what happens when you take the crime sandbox genre and give it a dose of the super soldier serum that turned John Walker into US Agent. This game throws any sense of reality out the window. You begin the game as the President of the United States when aliens attack and destroy Earth. It quickly becomes the Matrix with aliens as you explore a simulated version of Steelport, sprinting up skyscrapers and body-slamming tanks from orbit in the greatest video game wrestling move since Saban suplexed a train. It's insane in a way that works because Saints Row had already been drifting further and further away from normalcy with every installment in the series. In terms of scratching that GTA itch, it's a palate cleanser, reminding players that open-world games don't need to be grounded in gritty realism to be fun. It also arguably has one of the most absurd weapon lineups in any open-world game ever. And for those of you who enjoy the property management and gang warfare mechanics from San Andreas, there's still empire building to be done, just with alien-infested crack houses and black hole launchers. Number 5. Sleeping Dogs. For all its strengths, GTA has never really locked in on hand-to-hand combat. After all, you don't bring a knife to a gunfight. But for our fellow fans of pugilism, you may find Sleeping Dogs an irresistible alternative. Set in a richly detailed Hong Kong, this epic crime drama leans hard into martial arts combat set against a neon-lit cityscape dripping with tension. As mentioned, the melee system of Sleeping Dogs really helps this open-world entry stand out from the pack. Undercover cop Wei Shun isn't just some street thug, he's a trained enforcer who can string together brutal combos, environmental takedowns, and slow-mo counterattacks that feel like a Jackie Chan movie choreographed by the people behind Arkham City. The genre-standard car chases, shootouts, and side missions are all here, but they exist alongside things like cockfighting rings, karaoke bars, and food vendors that boost your stats when you stop for a bite. And while plenty of open-world games can be mature in subject matter, Sleeping Dogs is surprisingly mature in tone. Wei's loyalty to the Triads versus his duty as a cop slowly tears him apart, and the player feels that strain every time they have to balance brutal enforcement with maintaining their cover. It may not have the sprawling size of other entries on this list, but the densely packed streets of Hong Kong and tight narrative give this game a sharper edge. Number 4. Just Cause 4. Chaos. Very few games are able to harness and weaponize it quite like Just Cause 4. Set in the fictional South American country of Solis, this game tells the tale of one man's quest to overthrow a dictatorship with nothing but a grappling hook, a wingsuit, and a series of stunts so insane it makes Tom Cruise look acrophobic. Rico Rodriguez is back, battling armies, launching himself into tornadoes, and strapping balloons to tanks for, reasons. Just Cause 4 leans into physics-based destruction harder than its predecessors, allowing players to access tools that would feel overpowered in any other game. The grappling hook now supports tethers, boosters, and lifters, allowing for absolutely bonkers creations long before Tears of the Kingdom was a glimmer in Nintendo's eye. While it may lack the narrative depth of GTA, Just Cause 4 doesn't really need it. It's the perfect pick for players who miss the chaos of mess around and find out, only here, they're happening in the middle of lightning storms and sand tornadoes. It's not trying to say anything deep, but blowing up an oil refinery with a weaponized bulldozer kinda speaks for itself. Number 3. Mafia Definitive Edition. There's a particular haunting beauty to Mafia Definitive Edition that most crime games can't quite match. At nearly the opposite end of the spectrum from Just Cause 4, it's not about throwing players into a weapon-filled sandbox of madness. Instead, it places them in the tailored suit of Tommy Angelo, a cab driver turned mob enforcer in 1930s Lost Haven, and taking him for a ride through a life of loyalty, betrayal, and consequence. This remake of the 2002 cult classic doesn't attempt to modernize its structure. It embraces it with missions that are tightly crafted, often linear, but packed with tension and emotional punch. Driving through the rain-slick streets while old jazz music plays on the radio scratches a different kind of itch, one that values tone, setting, and a methodically paced story. Lost Heaven itself might not be filled with tons of distractions, but every inch of its landscape is meticulously built. The architecture reflects a nation between wars, cars handle like they're made of bricks and raw horsepower. Even the police behave realistically, pulling over players for running red lights or driving recklessly instead of just chasing them with reckless abandon. It's certainly a different pace, but one worth immersing yourself into. Number 2. Cyberpunk 2077. What started as a mess of broken promises and enough hilarious bugs to make an early Elder Scrolls game blush, slowly became one of the most beloved recent games through updates, patches, and its Phantom Liberty expansion. In its current form, Cyberpunk 2077's Night City is a dense, dangerous, and deeply immersive place to get lost in. GTA fans who love the series' crime drama and emergent chaos will find plenty to keep themselves busy with. V's story is deeply personal, but filled with complex side quests befitting of a game from CD Projekt Red. Whether it's hacking through corpo networks, gunning down cyber psychos in a back alley, or getting caught in a heist gone very, very wrong, the game delivers an underworld fantasy through a gorgeous sci-fi lens. And unlike a lot of open-world settings, verticality plays a huge role. Rooftops, neon-lit alleyways, high-end nightclubs, and grimy mega-buildings all feel very distinct. And the combat finally feels punchy. Guns kick hard, melee weapons are brutal, and hacking gives players another avenue to usher in chaos. Look, Cyberpunk still isn't perfect, but it's gotten close enough that stepping into a futuristic GTA-style crime spree no longer feels out of reach. And number 1, Red Dead Redemption 2. Maybe this feels like cheating, but a big part of our excitement for GTA 6 stems from what we saw Rockstar accomplish with Red Dead Redemption 2. It's not just their best open-world game to date, it's a thesis statement on immersion, on consequence, on building a world so rich, so immersive that it feels like a real place players just happen to stumble into. And it's certainly the clearest lens we have to see what GTA 6 might become. Arthur Morgan's journey is unforgettable, but it's just one part of a world players never seem to want to leave. Horses react to terrain changes, NPCs remember crimes and greet players differently based on their clothes, hygiene, and past actions. Even the wildlife has its own ecosystem, with predators stalking prey while weather patterns shift dynamically across the map. While GTA is about modern anarchy, Red Dead Redemption 2 is about slow decay. The Vanderlyn gang is falling apart, the West is dying, and every choice Arthur makes has consequences. Yet, that doesn't stop players from robbing trains, getting into shootouts, customizing guns, playing poker, and accidentally punching a horse in the face mid-bar fight. It's the perfect mix of storytelling and player freedom. And if Red Dead Redemption 2 is any indication of the attention to scope and detail Rockstar is aiming for, then GTA 6 might just live up to the hype we've thrust upon it as the biggest leap forward in the genre since players first stepped out of that taxi in GTA 3. So, that's 7 games to wet your whistle while waiting for GTA 6 to finally arrive in 2026. What do you think? Is there a particular game that scratches the open world itch we missed here? Let us know in the comments, and for everything else GTA 6 related and beyond, keep it tuned to GameRant.com.